I didn't really understand until the last couple of years how loosely regulated our supplement industry is over here. It's kind of actually shocking. We put such these high standards on our pharmaceuticals and all these testings and regulations and studies. But when it comes to the stuff that we can buy off this shelf, it's full of fillers.
Hello, I'm Dr. Wendy Myers. Welcome to the Myers Detox podcast. And on this show, we talk about everything related to heavy metal and chemical detoxification, the health issues caused by toxins that really are surprising. And we talk about bioenergetics, we talk about anti-aging and more advanced topics on health. And today I'm going to be talking with Tina D'Angelo. She's going to be talking about nanoparticle technology in supplements to get the highest absorption and the problems with most supplements. I know so many people focus their health regimen on, their diet, exercise, and supplementation. There's a lot of problems with supplements out there today. So we talk about how, the supplement industry is very loosely regulated with a lot of quality issues in supplements and absorption issues. Absorption can be as low as 20% for some supplements. And a lot of supplements contain synthetics. They contain fillers or they don't even contain what they say on the label or claim on the label. A lot of supplements contain binders that prevent their absorption. So the pills often just pass through the system undigested, just completely intact, whole. And we talk about a new product out. It's been out for a while. It's called DNA Drops. And they use European accumulate SA technology to extract nanoparticle DNA from plants that results in 99% absorption and bioavailability. This is a total game changer in supplementation. These are products that I personally take, and I recommend them to everyone for like your basic supplementation protocol. And they're 100% plant-based. They're totally natural. They're really, really high-end supplements. And so these also bypass the digestive system for 99% absorption. And they don't contain any allergens or stimulants. They don't have side effects or medication interactions. And they're just a lozenge. So they taste like candy, and they're easy to take for anyone, no matter what age, or if they have pill fatigue, or a lot of people just are so tired of taking one more pill. And there's a whole range of products that we'll get into. There's HPR product for liver and gallbladder and pancreas support. There's one that's specifically for weight loss that targets visceral fat. There's another product for blood sugar control. So we're going to go into all of the different products and what they do and how they're natural anti-inflammatories, et cetera, et cetera. So really, really good show today. And our guest, Tina D'Angelo, she is a nurse. She's at BS. She has RDMS. She's an RVT, RT, and she's the APL Go National Director. And she's a medical professional with 24 years of hospital experience, holds degrees in medical imaging and diagnostic medical sonography. She specialized in radiology and ultrasound, and she served as a clinical advisor for local colleges for 17 years, dedicating time to train future healthcare professionals. And with a passion for health and wellness, she's been diagnosing through real-time body imaging for 25 years, emphasizing the importance of preventative healthcare. And for more info about DNA Drops, the supplements we're talking about today, go to dnadrops.net. Tina, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me today. I'm super
Yes.
excited to be here.
Yeah, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your background, how you got into the health space?
Well, I actually have just become very proactive and preventative about my own health. Of course, being a busy mom of four, I had a couple kids, that I have a son that's on this high functioning autistic, another daughter that's ADD, of course, my own health and wellness. I grew up in a very pro vitamin, pro supplement home. So to me, it just seemed normal that that was the path I was going to take. But of course, I also work at a hospital. So I've been there 25 years. So I've seen the opposite. I've seen the sick system, right? And then I've also been a proponent of the health system. So through all of that, my passions have just really turned into preventative and proactive health for myself and my family. Of course, trying to find the best things for my kids. I do believe there's a time and a place for medicine, modern medicine, but I didn't necessarily see it do a lot of good for myself and my children. So it led me down a path of just research, right? That's kind of what we all do, and trying to find like the absolute best for myself and my kids. And then, of course, I just kept researching and realizing that it's all about like quality, high absorption, genetics, right? Genetics play a role, disease processes, which I clearly understand because I do unofficially diagnose through medical imaging. So, yeah, that's how I just found this amazing product and company. And I'm always know that Europeans are way ahead of us in health and wellness. They're usually about 10 years advanced, even in the medical communities. We understand that. So to me, it just made perfect sense to start looking outside of our market and start looking at what other countries that have been more holistic healers than our own selves. So
Yeah, and let's talk about supplementation because, I think there's a big problem in the supplement industry. One with pharmaceutical companies buying up supplement brands and then reducing the quality. And there's a big problem with quality itself, or lower quality within the supplement industry. And there's a lot of garbage out there. And so, can you talk a little bit about that?
yes, I didn't really understand until the last couple of years how loosely regulated our supplement industry is over here. It's kind of actually shocking. You know, we put such these high standards on our pharmaceuticals and all these testings and regulations and, studies. But when it comes to the stuff that we can buy off this shelf, it's full of fillers. I remember they did a study, I can't remember what it was, many years ago, and they actually pulled like so many bottles off of like GNC and they actually tested to see what was in it. And they found out, first of all, half the ingredients that were on the label were even in the bottle. Right. That's insane to me. And the fact that people are buying this, it's expensive, right? It's not quality. So again, your body is not getting the nutrition from it. And then you're taking massive amounts, because even our supplements are not natural sources, right? They're synthetically made in a lab. So if you're getting your vitamin C's, your calciums, and you're buying those in a pill form, uh, that was made in a lab, right? Even though it sounds like a supplement, and and of course, pharmaceuticals have their hands in that as well. I actually think that they like the fact that they can they can give people these low quality supplements, right? They can give them the medicines, but then they also want to play a role in the supplement industry and not regulating it and being able to have control of what they put in it with the fillers, right? Because again, it's about money, right?
Yeah.
When you're
Yeah. And then they can do studies to
oh
say
yeah,
how supplements don't work and
uh-huh, uh-huh,
directing people to their doctor
right,
to get something that actually does work.
right,
And
full
so
circle.
I think there is a lot of manipulation and poorly done studies to try to drive people away from supplements or questioning natural health. And I did a whole summit on this called the Deficiency Fix. You can go to deficiencyfix.com and check that out as interviewing all these experts from around the world about the problems with supplementation, but the other end of the spectrum, how you have to supplement because our food is largely devoid of nutrients, especially if it's from industrial farms. And so, can you talk a little bit about the problem also, not just with the synthetics and the problem within the supplement industry, but even if you're taking supplements, there's a
Right.
problem with absorption. Like we're
Oh.
not
Mhm.
absorbing the supplements.
Oh, 100%. And this is where like my medical knowledge comes in because I'm medically trained, but I literally look inside of bodies all day long, real time. And I always said I wish people could see what I see, especially over the last 20 years, and what our poor nutrition is doing to our bodies, like the insides, like our organs, our livers, our guts, right? So um just see the other spectrum of it is that because of our food source and our lack of nutrition, we are literally walking around malnourished all day long. And it does have to tie into absorption, because if your liver can't detox, right? If your gut can't digest properly, if you don't have the organ functions to actually be able to absorb what you're putting in your body, it's literally going down the toilet as expensive pee, right? We're lucky nowadays because I don't know anyone that doesn't have like a detox problem, right? Or a gut problem for that they're maybe getting 20%, right? And then you're dealing with things like genetic variants, which are now becoming more studied, especially MTHFR, which half the population has one form of it, and they can't methylize, they can't absorb. It's all through, again, our poorly detoxifying systems, our guts. And then it's leading to so many things that we could always talk about, like depression, anxiety, autoimmune disorders. I mean, so absorption is the key, 100%. If we can get those nutrients to the cellular level, but do it maybe in a way that we don't have to use this poorly digestive system that we all have, and it's, people are just struggling to try to correct that, um, then we have something like absorption for sure has to be the key.
This show is brought to you by Bon Charge, and I want to take a minute to tell you about one of their amazing products that I'm absolutely in love with. So, there's something I've been doing for about 10 minutes a day, and it's wearing a face mask. But it's not just any face mask, it's this Bon Charge red light face mask, and it's essential to my nightly skincare routine now. And believe me, red light therapy really works. It's well established in the research to improve the appearance of your skin. And how it does that is it penetrates deep into the skin to boost collagen production. It reduces the size of your pores. It reduces inflammation and it eases the signs of aging. Bon Charge's red light face mask makes it so easy to take care of your skin. It's kind of like a mini spa session every night that I'm doing. It can be used easily at home. There's no cord, so you can wear it while you're doing other tasks. Plus, the mask is totally painless and it doesn't heat up, unlike some other beauty anti-aging treatments. Bon Charge's red light face mask has been a game changer, and it's part of my everyday skincare routine now. And I'm seeing such great results already from using this mask. My skin is more clear, it seems more plump and fresh and juicy, and my redness and dark blemishes are fading. So there's a very special offer for all of my listeners. Right now, my listeners get 15% off when you order from boncharge.com and use my promo code Wendy at checkout. So this discount applies site-wide. So that's BONCHARGE.com. And you'll also get free shipping and a 12-month warranty. So go now to get this exclusive offer. That's boncharge.com. And with promo code Wendy, you get 15% off. This is one of my secrets to super healthy, young looking skin. I'm trying to reverse the clock. I'm trying to do everything I can to anti-age. And this is one of the secrets in my toolkit. Yeah, yeah. And I think that's why I, you know, vote more now for, we have to take products physically, but you can also get uh the nutrients you need with frequencies as well, which is incredibly interesting. And that's why I created my healing quantum frequency card and delivering all the nutrition that you need. But you still need physical supplements. We have a physical body. We do need to consume proper amounts of food and macronutrients, and I take physical supplements also, of course. And with the absorption, it's also interesting. I was really shocked to learn this, but when people are taking pills, so they're pressed
Hmm.
pills, that those just if you look at the porta potties where people are going to the bathroom, that the pills come out, they go right through them and they come out whole
Yep.
because there's binders in those supplements. I won't take any supplements if they're kind of a
Yeah.
pill that's been pressed with binders, like all of the name brand products you get at the big membership stores or your drugstore. If it's a pressed pill that has these cheap binders, and you're not going to digest that. at
Yeah.
all.
Oh no, it's really true. In fact, they test the sewer waters all the time, and they say the number one thing that's in our sewer system is undissolved supplements and medication.
Yeah, it's great.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
wonderful. So you have expensive poop and expensive pee, and that's about
Yeah.
it.
People are
Yeah,
wasting money.
yeah, yeah. And so talk about the DNA drops. So these are a supplement that I personally take. I absolutely love them. And can you talk
hmm
about how they kind of overcome a lot of these problems within the supplement industry and absorption?
Yes. And this is where I kind of go over people's head a little bit, even though I know you, Dr. Winnie Myers, you're just amazing with the frequency healing, the energy. People don't realize that that is actually a key to what you said, absorption, nutrient bioavailability. That's where I actually turned my head like 360 when I heard about the negative ion plant DNA drops. It's because through medical imaging, it's a fact. Every cell in our body is frequency based, right? Even every cell has a different frequency level. So, like a blood cell is going to have a different frequency than a liver cell, right? This is actually how medical imaging produces the images. And they use different modalities to get it, either like through ultrasonography or MRI or radiation or nuclear isotopes, right? This is how they pick up the pictures, right? The images is they're targeting your cellular frequencies. So we know through even medical imaging, there's going to be an abnormal and a normal shift, right? So cells, as they start to change, they turn abnormal, right? If they go towards a disease process, right? It's usually because of a free radical change, right? Something that has affected the cell to make that frequency shift. We know cancer, right, is the largest free radical change your cell can go through, right? But then there's a lot of different variations. So through this product, what I find completely unique, you won't find it anywhere else, is it actually uses the power of this negative ions. So they infuse it inside of the nanoparticles, which is the DNA part of the plant, the botanical herb, whatever they're going to use. It gives you all the macros, micros, phytonutrients, minerals, vitamins, all the things that we know these amazing sources like that we have that are here on the earth to heal and cure us can give our bodies. But again, we need it to be smart, right? We need it to go exactly to the cells that are needing it. So we infuse it with the negative ion energy, which is basically quantum physics that come from, Nikola Tesla's work with alternating current. And by doing that, the minute we pop it in our mouth and we're savoring it, within minutes, it's finding the abnormal frequency shifts. So it's targeting the cells that have the deficiencies that are in those abnormal states and changes. That's why we are seeing results so quickly. That's why doctors are saying this is impossible. How can your blood work change? That's why people are feeling relief from things like pain, hormonal inflammation. I have lots of my own personal stories, of course, but and it's so easy. It's so easy because it tastes like candy,
Yeah,
and
and that's what
everyone,
I
yeah.
wanted to just explain to people that the DNA drop supplements or the supplement line is literally like a lozenge. It's a piece of candy. It tastes really sweet. It's made from, natural plant sugars and it's safe for
hmm
diabetics. So
hmm
it's totally fine for diabetics, and which I'm concerned about as well, about, I don't want to take anything that's going to raise my blood sugar. And they taste amazing. And I have to say, when I first started taking them, I started taking them probably maybe over almost a year ago. And
hmm
I within a few days, I felt better. I had more energy. I just felt better. I felt less inflammation in my body, less kind of just, sometimes I'd have some lower back pain or stiffness and things like that. I just really felt a lot better. And I was really surprised because usually when you take supplements, you don't always feel something.
Oh, of
Um,
course.
but yeah, these definitely I had a shift. I'm like, okay, you have my attention now, which
Right.
for most products, I'm like, meh, it just I don't really feel anything. But you can still be having changes even if you don't feel anything. You
Of
can.
course, because there's certain benefits. I mean, do you feel your liver repairing? Do you feel your kidneys getting function improving? Right? Those are things that, of course, the doctors use the blood tests for or the imaging. But we are seeing those kind of results because over it's obviously it's accumulative. So the more deficiencies you repair through nutrition and cellular balancing, right? The frequency, you are going to see the shift. You're going to see the shift through these tests that you can't feel. Like I always tell people your liver, just because of what I do, it can take a beating. Like people, when I scan somebody or I'm looking at somebody through a medical imaging study, they have no idea that their livers are already like changing, right? They're already doing damage. And I'm seeing it on like kids, like teenagers, because you know what teenagers live on? They live off fast food, right? They don't take their vitamins, right? It's always like the quick thing. They live in on chips and soda, and it's affecting like our like whole population.
It's
Um,
shocking. I just heard a
yeah,
statistic the other day that it's something like 38% of children that are between the ages of 13 and 18 are considered diabetic now. I
yeah,
mean, just
I see it.
absolutely shocking
Yeah,
statistics. And yeah, our diets are horrifying. And so we have to supplement. We absolutely have to. Even me, I
100%.
eat an amazing diet. I eat wild caught fish. I eat, I know the rancher where I buy my meat. My mom has a ranch. We eat deer that she kills and rabbits that she kills. And, I have a great diet, but I still, if I don't take supplements, I'm hungry. If I don't take supplements, I'm craving food,
Mm-hmm.
because the nutrition in the fruits and vegetables is just a fraction of what it used to be,
Yeah,
just 20, 30 years ago. So you just, unfortunately, you can't get all your nutrition from food. So let's talk about the DNA drops. So let's talk about how they're totally plant-based and kind of where are the nutrients coming from? And we know they're plant-based. Can you expand on that a little bit?
of course. So they use a European technology. It's actually been around for quite some time. It's just new to this side of the world. It's called a chemoassay. That's their proprietary process. So they actually extract the nanoparticle, which I'll just use ashwagandha, for instance, right? When you pick ashwagandha, it's a plant. Obviously, we grow it. But when you pick it, it's dead. It dies, right? It's no longer living. And so then people try to freeze dry it, try to crush it up, try to put it in these capsules, go through the digestive system because ashwagandha is a natural source. It has its amazing benefits, right? You could study each herb. This is where my herbologist friends, they can tell you exactly how many vitamins, minerals, all the things that are in a particular herb. It's super, super beneficial to our body. Our cells crave it. But instead of killing the ashwagandha, they actually extract the nanoparticle of DNA of the ashwagandha, which is actually the blueprint. So it's like you're giving your cell a blueprint, everything that ashwagandha can potentially give your cells at the max potency, the max benefits. And then I have to go full circle with the negative ion infusion, right? Because that negative ion energy, right? Once you give it that particle back, it actually becomes active and living again, right? Because frequency is energy, right? And it's a living life force. So instead of getting like a dead ashwagandha that we have to digest, we're getting an active living blueprint form of that. And so they take a multiple of these proprietary blends. They've studied it, and they know they use like a lot of different science and research on what blends work with certain organ systems, right? So it's either organ system based, it's symptom based, right? We have like one for pain, right? It's an anti-inflammatory. I compare it to like ibuprofen, right? If you're going to use like a chemical version, this is like a natural
I
ibuprofen.
take a lot of that one.
Yeah, I know which one.
It's Slide,
Yes,
correct? It's called
SLD.
Slide. Yeah,
Right.
SLD. Yeah, so yeah, I take quite a bit of that one because I like it. It's anti-inflammatory and I want something
Natural.
that's totally natural. I am not taking NSAIDs or Tylenol or anything like that that can damage my
Ugh,
gut and damage my liver. Maybe on occasion if it's like an emergency I will, but I want to avoid medications at all costs, and I don't think people realize how much damage they're doing to their health, especially if they're taking those every day, thinking like it's not a big
right.
deal. And the SLD is a great natural anti-inflammatory.
Right. And that's leads us to the fact that there are actually no side effects when you're using a nanoparticle DNA form, and we bypass the digestive system altogether because we do use the submucosal delivery system. There's no allergens, right? Because allergens come from the breakdown of the plant proteins in your digestive system. That's why people have allergies to like ginger, or they may be sensitive to certain herbs or foods or things like that. It actually is not coming from the food, it's coming from our digestive systems breaking down the proteins. We have no plant proteins because we have no fleshy particle, right? So again, there's no allergens, no stimulants, no side effects. You can't overdose, no interactions with medications, right? Kids are taking them and we're using them on animals. It's fascinating because again, the DNA is almost a perfect match to our own DNA, right? It's like a genetic code, like frequency reading. It's just like next level. I can't, it's really hard to explain, but I think people are really starting to open their minds to energy healing, frequency healing, but then not forgetting the nutrition side, right? Because we eat to live. Like you said that. Like when you're craving something, it's usually because your cells are not getting the minerals and vitamins and the things it's looking for. So now you have a craving because it didn't get the right nutrients, right? So you're constantly looking for, that's why we overeat. That's why we eat the wrong foods, right?
I want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors today. It's True Energy Skincare. And this is the skincare line that I'm using. And they have an amazing product out. It's called the Energy Optimized Body Sculpting Stone that you see right here. And also, I love their refreshingly revitalizing hand and body lotion. I use this every single day. This is part of my nightly routine, using the sculpting stone and the body lotion. And so I love True Energy Skincare and the sculpting system. It's called the True Energy Body Sculpting System. It's designed to support lymphatic detox and fascia repair. And the protocol targets the acupressure points to activate the body's natural detox pathways. So what I'm doing every night is putting the lotion on, and then I go over my whole body a few times with this stone. And you go over your entire body, and they have a little, information kit to guide you on what to do. And this stone, it's made of natural bion stone, and it's energy optimized with True Energy's proprietary biophoton frequencies. And so we sometimes refer to them as beauty frequencies, helping to communicate to the body at a cellular level to act as if it's young again. So it's sending new information. It's sending frequencies to your skin to improve collagen, improve elasticity, help with lymphatic flow, and help with, flushing and detoxification of your skin. And when paired with the bioactive functional hand and body lotion, it enhances hydration, it combats dullness, and brings out a healthy glow. And the lotion, it's also energy optimized with the same proprietary frequencies, using a little green bead inside it that it has all the frequencies imprinted on it. And so this powerful combo is ideal for those dealing with premature skin aging, cellulite, feeling bloated or swollen, and all the signs often linked to stagnant lymph flow and toxin buildup. So you can get this duo at trytrueenergy.com/Wendy-2. So again, it's trytrueenergy.com/Wendy-2. And so you can get this combo at that link. And again, I do this every single night. I'm absolutely in love with True Energy Skincare because everything I do in my life is frequency based. So you guys know that listening to the show, I'm obsessed with bioenergetics. I've got bioenergetic software running, but I just everything I do has frequencies imprinted on it, and everything that I use that includes my skincare. I cannot recommend True Energy highly enough. Yeah, I
So,
almost feel like because I take the DNA drops and I take like the whole line as well. There's 18 of them. There might have been a couple new ones added that I'm not
mhm,
aware of, but there's 18 of them. You don't have to take all of them. Like I don't take
no.
the heart one, but for people who are worried about the heart, you can take that. But but with taking that, and I take spirulina also because it's so nutrient dense, and I take like bee pollen every morning. And I just have a handful of things that I'll take. I like colostrum too, but I just don't really get hungry very
Yeah.
often. Like I find like I have to remember to eat, which is 180
Yeah.
to what it was like even just a few years ago, because I'm so satiated and have
Yeah.
such high nutrition levels that I find I'm satiated. I'm not having cravings. I'm not thinking
Exactly.
about food. I'm not like, ooh, what do
Right.
and it's that really helps a lot with maintaining a healthy weight because you're not always wanting to snack.
Oh, yeah. Even like you said, all of our products have that. I call them natural appetite suppressants because it does exactly what you said. Because you're not craving when you give your cells what it needs, then a lot of those things start to dissipate, right? You're feeling fuller. You're not having the cravings. We did come out with a new one, the LFT, which is an antioxidant. It's an anti-aging. I love it. It helps with stem cells and things like that. But it has the spirulina in it that you just mentioned, which we didn't have before. But I actually went through a whole weight loss journey just using the product, and I was able to release 46 pounds. And so I know what you're talking about. I mean, it's more than that, right? We have to do our parts. We have to like watch what we eat and take our water and, watch, what our calorie intake because Americans are overeaters. It's a huge difference if you've ever been over to Europe and how they eat and what they eat and the portions they eat.
Yeah,
Like,
my girlfriend's in Barcelona. She said there's no overweight people.
no,
It's very, very rare, and they're usually a tourist. Yeah, and I think also when people are, you know, when they're trying to lose weight, there's so many people are white knuckling it or just going hungry, and that's your body it's not you're crying out for a hamburger. Your body's crying out for nutrition it's not getting. So I'm surprised at how little food I'm able to get by on just because of the nutrition I have. And when you're trying to lose weight, biology will always overcome willpower. If you don't feed your body the minerals and the nutrition that it needs, you are going to be hungry, period. And you won't be hungry if you get the proper nutrition. I think with the DNA drops, that gives you the best shot at giving you the nutrition you need without all the problems we talked about with other types of supplements.
yes, I agree.
Yeah. And so let's talk about some of the other products in the line. So I like the beauty one because that gives you like silica and it gives you a lot of things
Uh-huh.
that you need for beauty and collagen. And what else can you talk about just some of the other kind of the product line?
Yes, I mean, I love them all. Like again, like you said, you don't, of course, we're not taking them all day long. And some of them are just time and places. Like we've replaced things out of our medicine cabinet. In fact, I can't remember the last time we actually took some over counter the med, right? So, if you're running for the Tylenol or the ibuprofen, we have a replacement for that, right? Through our slide and stop. If you're looking for like a cold flu allergy, right? An ALT, because those botanicals that are in there are natural decongestants. So it's going
Yeah,
to
so
help.
the
Yeah.
ALT is for immunity.
It's like allergies, itchy, watery eyes, helps with pet dander, seasonal allergies, anything in like the upper respiratory. That's what I say. And it's a huge immune booster too, as well, because allergies, what are they directly related to? Our immune response, right? Then, like you said, the BTY, which is beauty, it's like Europeans' biggest beauty secret. It's a nutracosmetic. So it actually, I mean, beauty shows from the inside out. We all know that, right? Our skin is the largest organ we have. It's full of cellular, like renewal and dying off and all that. So people they want to slap all the stuff on their skin, but they're not realizing that taking care of your skin comes from nutrition, right? Collagen support, and I love that our product uh, targets what your body needs. So there's so many collagens out there. I think whether they have like 6 or 7 types now, I actually lost track. It could get very confusing and very expensive because collagen just isn't in our skin, it's in our ligaments, our joints. So this product just naturally works with what you're lacking. So everyone gets results, right? It may look different because depending on our deficiencies and things that are going on in our bodies. But that's what I love is it's smart. There's no guessing here. You just take it and it's just so easy. And I could go into the hormonal because I'm a big proponent of hormonal health. I've personally been a sufferer of PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. I had it my entire life. Thyroid, Hashimoto's, cholesterol, high cholesterol runs in both sides of my family, diabetes. It's all like autoimmune, inflammation, hormonal, and it's because of the food we eat, the soys, the seed oils, the inflammation. It's doing havoc on our hormones. So I love our powers, the power apricot and power lemon. One is more geared towards female because the progesterone, estrogen, lemon, more prostate, testosterone. But women don't realize that they neglect the testosterone component. Our testosterone is usually what's off. And doctors aren't addressing it as well with women. So I take both of them and I'm completely covered, and it has been a game changer for me. And I am in that perimenopause stage. I'll be probably menopause here in a few years, and I'm not having all the crazy symptoms and all the things that most of my friends are having right now.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
again,
really, really important to
it is.
supplement for hormonal health. I think there's so many things working
Mm,
against our hormones as we've, covered ad nauseum on this podcast with how toxins interfere in your hormones, and so you
yeah.
need that nutritional support to
Yep.
foster them. Yeah, and any other ones? I really like the RLX. It's relax. And so
Yes.
that can really help with cortisol management.
Yes.
And which a lot of people are really stressed out. It's something I take, when I'm a few hours before bed, and it can
Mm-hmm.
really help to just like
Yep.
calm everything down.
Yeah, because our minds are like overthinking, right? Because we're stimulated all day long with our devices, computers, right? Even like the positive ion poisoning, I don't even know if you go into that with your audience, but it's real, right? And it's affecting us. So that RLX not only has just all of the chamomiles and all the things that help just relax you naturally, it has the negative ion frequency as well, but it doesn't make you sleepy or groggy. So I have people that take it that are just high anxiety because, they're overthinking. That's what it is. It's like they're overthinking. They take an RLX and all of a sudden, same with kids. A lot of hyperactivity. Like our kids' brains are actually really amazing, right? People are always trying to treat their cognitive and not realizing that these kids that are just really hyperactive, they just need to calm down, right? Their brains are perfect. They're smart. They're intelligent. They're trying. They're just like overworking. They're overstimulated. So I have people who have loved the RLX just for their kids, um, just to get them to like calm down and focus. And then we do have the BRN brain for cognitive and focusing, which also helps with brain fog and concentration and focusing and all the things. But, sometimes it's just you got to figure it out. Like RLX can be just as good as a BRN or maybe a combination of both. So I love that we have natural solutions. And I have a mom heart, with the four kids. Um, so that's really a big passion for me to be able to help naturally these kids, right? Instead of giving them the stimulants, the psychotics. Like I saw it with my own son because he was on medication because unfortunately we didn't know better, right? We tried all the paths and he literally didn't grow for an entire year. Didn't grow because the medicines were stunting his growth, his nutrition. He was having psychotic episodes, just to get him to just focus in school for a few hours. And it wasn't worth it. It like hurt my heart. And so that's when I started going on the natural path with him. And he's 6'2" now. Like he's a big, tall, he's 25. But yeah, I went through a lot of that. So I would, if there's a natural solution for kids or parents, like why not share that far and wide, right?
So I want to take a minute to talk about the health benefits of olive oil and thank one of our sponsors of the Myers Detox podcast called Fresh Pressed Olive Oils. Like many of you, I'm always trying to eat healthier, and that's why I love really good olive oil. I eat olive oil every single day for its many antioxidants and longevity benefits. Olive oil is the cornerstone of the Mediterranean diet, proven to be among the healthiest in the world. And Sicilians from Italy and some islands in Greece have some of the longest lived people in the world because they're eating olive oil every single day. So check out this article from Life Extension magazine. Olive oil markedly extends human lifespan. In a long-term clinical study, those who ingested the most olive oil-derived polyphenols live 9.5 years longer if they're over the age of 65. And the Harvard School of Public Health has announced the results of a 28-year study showing that just over a half a teaspoon of olive oil per day is associated with a lower risk of dying from cardiovascular disease, cancer, neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer's, respiratory disease, and it's been shown to, in the research, to reduce high LDL cholesterol. It helps prevent type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, and obesity. And it may also help to prevent arthritis and osteoporosis. There's so many health benefits. So whenever you buy olive oil, the four most important words to remember are the fresher, the better. So olive oil packs the most flavor and the most nutrients when it's fresh from the farm. And that's the problem with supermarket olive oils. They're not fresh. They can be sitting on the shelf for months, transported overseas on ships, losing the polyphenols and antioxidants, with the healthy fats even going rancid the longer they sit in the bottle. And that defeats the whole purpose. Not only that, but most olive oils sold in the US are not actually olive oil. They're mixed with canola and other unhealthy industrial GMO seed oils that you're trying to avoid by choosing olive oil in the first place. So it's really shocking that this has been allowed to happen, but there just isn't much oversight in the industry. And that's why I stopped buying olive oil from the grocery store years ago, because you just have no idea what you're getting. And so that's why I love getting my olive oil direct from someone that I trust, from TJ Robinson, who's known as the olive oil hunter. He has found all these artisanal small farms producing olive oil like they've done for thousands of years. And I so look forward to my quarterly shipment of olive oil from Spain, Italy, Australia, and other countries. This one is from Portugal. And depending on the country, and the olive oils are ripe and in season, they press the olive oil and they bottle it and they send it to you right away. So it's the freshest that you can get. And so when I tasted TJ's Farm Fresh oils, I fell in love with them. They're so fresh. They're so pungent. This is how olive oil is supposed to taste. And they're incredibly delicious on salad, veggies, pasta, meat, fish, you name it. Olive oil also has zero carbs, so it's ideal for low carb, ketogenic, and paleo lifestyles. And as an introduction to his Fresh Pressed Olive Oil Club, TJ is willing to send you a full size $39 bottle of one of the world's finest artisanal olive oils, fresh from the new harvest, for just $1 to help them cover shipping. So you can go take advantage of that at getfreshwendy.com. So you get a $39 bottle for only $1 at getfreshwendy.com. Again, that's getfreshwendy.com. Yeah. And so what are some of the other products in the line? I know there's like a one that's like the multivitamin, like the foundational one. Which one is what is
Yes.
that called again?
MLS, it's
Yeah,
short for
MLS.
multi-spectrum, which is the gut one, because we all know the gut is the gateway to pretty much every organ system. It's our second brain. We know up to 90% of our serotonin can be produced through the large intestine. So that one actually, every botanical in that, if you go do your research, if you love your herbs, I always tell people go do their own research on their herbs because it actually makes them a believer. Because they're like, wow, I can't believe what's in this. But those are all natural prebiotics, right? And we know prebiotics are like a key to balancing our gut biome. We need the pre. And I love that people will go, take their probiotics, or maybe they love sauerkraut, kimchi, yogurt, whatever. It's a fermented process. It doesn't really happen in nature. So we do need that. But I always tell people if you're taking a pro, right, it's pretty much useless unless you take a pre, right? Because the pro feeds off the pre. So what MLS does is it completely covers you. So to me, it's like a must-have, like one a day, right? Because then if you're taking your probiotics or anything else that you're putting inside your body, your gut is trying to work at its optimal best. So that was a great one to bring up. It's not really kind of a multivitamin, but I do feel like gut health is for everyone, kids, adults, especially since our guts are wrecked, which I don't know if I could tie it into HPR, the HEPR, because again, I know how you're so passionate about detox and toxins. And our liver is our largest filtering organ. And every bit of blood, so anything that you expose yourself goes into your bloodstream at some point, right? So it has to filter through your liver. And what happens when is our liver isn't detoxifying correctly, right? Or you've got too much fat in in your bloodstream, that it's going to cause high cholesterol. Cholesterol is produced in the liver, right? You're not going to detoxifying. It's going to back up into the gallbladder. This is where people get gallstones, right? They're bile ducts. And what happens is that the bile ducts are interconnected to the pancreas. So then you're putting pressure on the pancreas. So then people are getting diabetes through low insulin production. But people don't realize that the pancreas produces all your digestive enzymes. So guess what two work really well together? That HPR and the MLS, they're like power buddies, because those two organs are communicating with each other. And when you have a good detoxifying like system going, then your gut is going to be happy too. And you're going to be able to digest those things and absorb better. And it's gonna help with mood, energy, anxiety, depression. I could go on and on about how our gut is really what's killing like mental health right now.
Yeah, yeah, and so the HPR is for liver support, essentially liver
Yeah,
support,
liver,
detoxification.
gallbladder, pancreas. Again, I have to say people don't see the damage they do to their liver because you the liver is the last organ you'll feel. Meaning people won't feel their liver function, they won't feel their liver until it's too late, because it's an organ that can take a beating over and over and over again, and it's a regenerative organ. So, people just don't tend to wanna fix it till it's broken, right? Till they feel it or see it, which is unfortunate, because usually that means it's probably too late
Yeah,
in
I
some
know. I
cases.
knew a friend of mine, or their neighbor, he died of liver failure at 42 years old with two
Crazy.
young children. It's unfortunately, I think there's 100 million people with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease
Oh,
in the United States alone, just in the US
oh, yes.
alone.
100%. I see
Yes.
it all day long, and these people think they're healthy. They come in, "Oh, there's nothing wrong with me," they come in for something completely random, and, like, I'm looking at their livers and gallbladders, and I'm like, "Oh, you have no idea."
Yeah. Yeah, and I think people just kind of have this idea like, oh, I don't have any diagnosis or major illness, and I'm young, and people are overconfident, I think, in the status of their health, and they just think it's not going to happen to them. I think it's very kind of common thinking. So, and that's why I do this show, to really I want to educate people about the strategies that they need to have to prevent illness and to optimize health and to do preventive care, because once you have those symptoms and diagnosis, there's a lot of damage you have that may not be reversible. So prevention's not very sexy, but that's where it's at. People don't want to start addressing a problem before they actually have a problem.
Right.
But you do have to start thinking about these things, and it begins with nutrition. And
Yes.
so let's talk about I like that each product, so each of the DNA drops, each item, each lozenge has and they've limited it to about 8 nutrients for each product. So it's kind of very easy to see what you're getting, and to kind of do some little research on what that nutrient, that one of 8 nutrients in each product is doing.
Yeah, it really depends on what like organ system and whatever they're trying to target. Some of the ones like even the MLS and beauty can I think there's like 20 different botanical herbs and different blends in there. One of the things that I don't think people realize is because it is a European product, and they have the patented technology, they actually have a proprietary blend on top of what they put in as like their main ingredients. So I always tell people go research that stuff, because like you can't even buy a bottle of like ashwagandha on Amazon for less than 25 bucks, right? And these half of these products at like wholesale pricing, you're getting for $25. Like, and it's full of amazing goodness that I'm blown away, honestly, because like you said, people don't want to do preventative health because there's a cost, right? And people look at it as, well, I may get my medicines paid for, I may get this paid for, but you're going to pay for sickness or you're going to pay for wellness, right? You got to make a choice because I know people that would give anything, like any amount of money to get their health back, right? I have people that are out of work, right? How much money are you losing because you had to call in sick that day? Right? And so I always say you're not really, it's not you're picking one or the other, right? You're literally making a choice of your for your future self, right? That you're saying, I would rather spend the money now so I'm not sick and spending the money down the road because I guarantee you're going to pay 10 times more down the road for being sick.
Yes.
It's not
Yeah.
free.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and so if you guys want to learn more about the DNA drops, go to dnadrops.net. So there's a lot of information, videos on there, but you can click through. There's links there you can click through and purchase them right away, or you can contact Mark Axelson, who's his number and email is on the page as well, and you can call him up and ask all the questions you want. And can you talk about some of the testimonials and things you've seen with the clients that you've worked with and how they've kind of had a turnaround in their health taking the DNA drops?
Of course. I mean, I get so many like they're just coming and going. And, a lot of it is like the pain receptors. I know people that live in chronic pain. So when they're like on all the things, and they're like taking some of these drops, and within a couple days or whatever, they're like, oh my gosh, my pain went away. How did that happen? Right. So that's always makes people a big believer. I've seen there's a lot of great like immediate benefits, like our ice drop, which we didn't talk about, but it actually helps with the upper digestion. So if you're like nausea, vomiting, heartburn, I mean, people are taking that in like 5 minutes gone, right? Like literally, you could throw the Tums and Pepto in the garbage. We did a long time ago. There's no use to it. Especially when you're using the chemicals. People don't understand that chemicals are just chemical band-aids. All they do is turn off cell receptors so that you don't feel it. But that's also why you get all the side effects because all the cells around it freak out. So it's actually not the chemical, it's the side effect. But through nutrition, instead of turning off that cell receptor, it's filling in with deficiencies so that every cell, even the ones around it, are very happy.
Yeah, I have to
Um,
say I love the digestion product. I love, love, love
yeah,
that one.
works amazing.
It's so good. And it has fennel in it and it has like
Mm-hmm.
other
Carrot. Mm-hmm.
other nutrients in it that help with digestion. It's fantastic.
Works really quickly. And then there's always like the big wow ones, right? When you see people lose the weight, when you see your pre-diabetics, your type 1s and type 2s. I have moms who have like type 1 diabetic children, and of course they're insulin dependent, right? Type 1, you really can't get off the insulin, but insulin's expensive. And during the pandemic, they had a shortage of it. You couldn't even get it. That was scary, right? So just knowing that she has like Norm, right, for blood sugar, which tastes like candy because it's amazing, and the kids love it and crave it, and she didn't have to use as much insulin on them, right? So it was again a $25 box. Her boys were taking it throughout the day, loving it. She was watching their blood sugar, and she was using less insulin and saving a ton of money and giving the kids something that they wanted, right? Which was just to them a piece of candy. And I could go into glycobiology because I'm a big proponent of the right sugars, not the wrong sugars that everyone like freaks out about sugar, which our product is all the right sugar. It's how our cell uses the ATP cycle is through glycobiology and cellular function. But yeah, there's like so many like the hormonal, the blood works. I'm thinking of the AC1s that are dropping, the cholesterol. Like my stepdad, he's like 83. He was on 4 heart meds. His doctor took him off 3. He's only on 1. Heart, you take some other ones, but it's just so impressive that even these doctors are like, I don't know what you're doing, but just keep doing it because well, obviously it's working, right? And they can't even deny it because they do want to run the tests. I get it. They want to run the tests. They want to make sure. And that's what I'm always saying is, always check with your healthcare provider, right? Usually a lot of them are really open-minded now. Thankfully, they're making a little more of a shift to supplementation, alternative, holistic. You just got to be an advocate for yourself, right? And you got to find the right people to work with.
So, for anyone listening that really wants to detox their body, go to heavymetalsquiz.com. I created a quiz for you. It only takes a couple of seconds. Based on some lifestyle questions, you can get your toxicity score and get a free video series that answers all of your frequently asked questions about how to detox your body. Check it out, heavymetalsquiz.com. Yeah. And I love the NRM that to help with blood sugar control. I think that's really important, especially if you're relatively healthy, but you're in your 40s. I think it's really important to get a continuous glucose monitor and just check in, do it for 2 weeks. They're not that expensive, and you can check in on your blood sugar levels because some people are really surprised that, maybe they don't have a formal diagnosis, maybe they're not doing the fasting glucose measurement when maybe they're not, the doctor's not checking that, or they're not going for regular physicals or whatever. And plus that fasting glucose is really just a moment in time. It's
Yeah.
much more useful to see how your body is reacting to meals and if you're having higher low blood sugar late at night. But in any event, if you do find your blood sugar is higher than on average than it really should be, it's really helpful to take the NRM to
Yes.
to help with managing your blood sugar and insulin resistance.
Right. And I've actually had the question of they even if you have low blood sugar, right? It does the opposite. It brings it up. So all it's doing is using your cellular function to do a balancing act. So it's not going to overcorrect or undercorrect. It just tries to bring everything into like perfect balance. So it works both ways. But you're right, because blood sugar can spike anytime. It could be from dehydration. People don't realize that, and of course our blood sugar is going to go up after we eat because that's what it's supposed to do. But again, if you're checking it and starting to just really listen to your body and starting to figure out like what your needs are, right? And where you can fill it in. And that's what I love about having this product. It's not only affordable, so it's also stuff you can place in your medicine cabinet, but you actually can kind of be a healer in your own home in a lot of ways.
Yeah, and also with the blood sugar management, that's key to weight loss. You have to have even blood sugar to lose weight. And like you said, anything that's stressful, like lack of sleep one night, you just got four
Mhm.
or 5 hours, you're gonna have high blood sugar and be on a blood sugar roller coaster the whole next day and be
Yep.
snacking more, etc. So I love I think blood sugar control is so important, and whatever you can take to facilitate that is again really, really key. And I forget exactly, but was the NRM the one where they did a study and they showed that people on average lost 2 to 3 pounds more taking that than without it? There was some study on it that was done, but I forget if it was the NRM or if it was another one.
I mean, that one, it definitely, I know that a lot of doctors have done a lot of studies, a lot of different other countries, that have different rules and regulations have done some of their own studies. PFT, for me, that one, I know that one just came out, I think it's been a little over a year.
Yeah,
That
that's
one
that's
is
the weight loss one,
Yeah, the
correct? Yeah.
PFT, because it's got the herbs that are natural thermogenics. So again, it's put your body into like that fat burning state. And then they have like things like brown algae and some stuff that they're realizing target visceral fat. And visceral fat, we know, is the hardest fat to lose for one thing, but it surrounds your intestines, your heart, your liver. So it is the most crucial fat. It's like the worst fat for your overall health. So we are seeing people like lose inches, and it's one of those things where it's kind of like a gradual change. I mean, you've got to do your part, but just incorporating it into your everyday. Like, I would take it about 2 or 3 times a day because, of course, that's where we're eating to live, right? So every 4 to 5 hours, you're going to want to eat, right? That's about where you're going to want to take it. But then I personally, and I think a lot of women, because it's like hormonal, like we're like late night snackers, right? We want something fatty, we want something salty, we want the chips, we want the ice cream. It's like I'll be good all day long, and then I'd have this dumb craving at night, right? And what I found is just by taking to the PFT and drinking a big glass of water, right? Hydration and water, cravings gone. Like it was a big game changer for me. Just having that extra, um, and it wasn't like big loss, 4 or 5 pounds a month, but over 8 months, huge made a huge difference. And now I've kept it off. That's what I'm saying. It's not coming back, right? Because my cells are happy, I'm happy, and it was just a balancing act for me and my body and what I needed, and my own genetics and some of the disorders and things that I have to deal with, symptom wise. So, you know, it can help for sure.
Yeah, I love the PFT. I just forgotten momentarily what the name of it was. I was thinking it was the NRM. But yeah, the PFT is fantastic. I take that also, and definitely notice a difference when it's like I have periods where I'll stop taking stuff, but when
Right.
I'm on it, I'm definitely like, or I've run out a couple of times of it, but when I'm taking it, I do notice a difference. Absolutely. And then also, what are some of the other ones? Like there's a heart one. There's a brain one. There's some other there's a lot of different products that address like different like organ systems. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we actually have a kit. It's called a Metabolic Reset that has a lot of the ones that people can just buy under wholesale. Because some people are just like, I want to get that whole metabolic reset going, and optimize, anything else you're doing. I always say you can't overdo health. So I'm never negative on other things people want to do because it's all a choice, right? It's all beneficial. But we definitely promote that kit. It has a lot of good ones in them. Some of the ones we didn't highlight, that I love are the HPY Happy, because it's got the hemp, the ginkgo, the devil's claw, which I found out some countries are even trying to ban, which is crazy. It's like, so that one's going to help with mood, anxiety. It also helps with addiction, which a lot of people don't realize is like kind of like a mood chemical imbalance. We've had a great results, um, with just anything like addictive, and then it also helps with female cramps, like pain. There's some pain receptors in there. I take that one every day because I do tend to be on the little low side for me. Like I'll get like seasonal depression, or just depending how my hormones are going for that time. So that one tends to really help me, just keep me like overall like happy, just that overall feeling of well-being. Great for kids. Again, the other one is air, which is it's like a lower respiratory one. So that one is actually infused with extra vitamin C, D3, and zinc. So I kind of call it the antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial drop, because again, there's so many different variations of viruses, flus, right? We just came out of a pandemic where people were like COVID, long haulers, COVID, right? Lung health. So it actually increases the plasma levels in the blood. So that helps with oxygenation. So it's really great for lung health, but then it has like all those amazing benefits that the minute you're feeling sick, right? Aches. Oh, I got you're exposed to that 2 days probably prior, right? It doesn't mean usually when you're exposed, you don't feel it till a couple days to later, and then it's already in your system. So then people run and grab all the things, which is fine, but that takes 24 to 36 hours just to go through your digestive tract. So you're lessening the symptoms, but you're usually so many days late. So that's what I love about the air, because again, we talk about the immediate benefits. So you have a better chance when you're immediately like dosing up on that, like therapeutic dosing, to really just cut it like that. So, and we never get sick in our house. And I work at a hospital, like I work around patients all day long. I haven't called out sick in years. My kids are healthy, they go to school, and we deal with that during the cold and flu season, right? It's just we can't get away from it. But
Yeah, I can report the same thing because my daughter will get something or my boyfriend will get something and I don't get sick. Yeah, I mean I might get like a little bit of something, but it's never at the severity that they're experiencing it. And I attribute it to just all the detox that I'm doing
Yeah.
and the DNA drops
Mhm.
and, all the stuff that I've been doing that just, fosters good immunity. And so if you guys want to learn more about the DNA drops and get them, go to dnadrops.net. And so that's the place to go to check these out. And this is the third podcast I've done on these, because not because I'm, trying to get you guys under my downline or anything like that. I'm not really making any money off of these, but I do it because these
Yeah.
are the technology with these supplements with the absorption. It's like 99% absorbability, which is, you're not even getting close to that with a typical multivitamin or supplement, which is mostly synthetic anyways. And how pleasurable they are to take. I don't like taking a ton of pills, just like a lot of people. Like kids aren't going to
Yeah.
be taking a ton of pills, or say like my mom's husband, he's taking all kinds of medications. And even though we try to talk him out of it, he's, just wants to do, he's going to do. Like, he doesn't want to take a bunch of pills and supplements on top of his medications that he's taking. There's a lot of people that can't take, they can't swallow the pills or what have
Right.
you. Taking a lozenge like this is so easy. It's literally like you're eating candy.
Yeah.
You're eating a piece of candy. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's really true. I mean, I've never had someone say, "Ick, don't give that to me." In fact, everyone's like, "Give me more," right? It's the complete opposite, and you're really spot on, because pill fatigue is real. Like,
Uh-huh.
I work with a lot of doctors, and they're always saying the number one thing their patients are saying is, "Please, doctor, don't prescribe me one more pill."
Yeah.
I can't take one more pill. And like you said, even as you get the younger generation, but even the elderly, right? They can't get down all those pills. They can't swallow, and so this is actually a perfect solution for so many of the problems of traditional supplementation. That's
Yes.
again why I love it so much.
Yes. Yeah. So again, just go to dnadrops.net and check that out. Just dive into all the information there. I can answer all of your questions. And again, well, Tina, thank you so much for coming on the show and kind of
Welcome.
explaining all the benefits of this, great product line. And that's why I keep talking about it, because I think these are far, far superior to most of the products out on the market. They have the proprietary technology for extraction of the nutrients and preservation of the nutrients. And I think the results will speak for themselves. So definitely, encourage people to try them for themselves. So again, Tina, thanks for coming on the show. And everyone, I'm Dr. Wendy Myers. Thanks for tuning into the Myers Detox podcast, where every week I'm bringing you experts from around the world. And really, my hope is for you to just get one little tidbit or one little idea or try something new. And I just really hope that it makes a big difference in your life, just the information that you're learning on this show. So thanks for tuning in every week.
The Myers Detox podcast is created and hosted by Wendy Myers. This podcast is for information purposes only. Statements and views expressed on this podcast are not medical advice. This podcast, including Wendy Myers and the producers, disclaim responsibility for any possible adverse effects from the use of information contained herein. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast does not make any representations or warranties about guest qualifications or credibility. Individuals on this podcast may have direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. If you think you have a medical problem, consult a licensed physician.